And welcome to CFO and CIO Alignment, Smarter Budgeting for 2026 and Beyond. This is a roundtable panel discussion, and I want to just welcome you and introduce myself. I am Heather Rowney. I handle the marketing operations here at the Controllers Council. And before I jump in and introduce our panelists and our partner sponsor, I do want to cover just some housekeeping items. You will notice that this is a CPE webinar, so we will have 4 polling questions. Please feel free to answer each poll. If you're not attending for CPE, we still would love to hear from you and answer to benchmark your peers. We'll also have a quick survey at the end of the presentation, so please complete that survey as well. Next, there will be a Q&A at the end of this presentation. Just use your GoToWebinar control panel to ask any questions along the way, and we'll answer as many as possible when we get to the end. Finally, you will receive a link to this webcast in the next 24 hours, so no need for any notes or screenshots. You will get that in a follow-up email. So with that, I want to introduce our partner and sponsor, VAST. VAST provides IT services and cloud management solutions to companies and organizations across the United States. Their services help businesses reduce costs and simplify the management of their evolving on-premise, hybrid, multi-cloud, and SaaS environments. VAST is a provider of solutions and services for leading public and private cloud platforms, enterprise storage, infrastructure, data management, and cyber resilience technologies. They were founded in 1989 and are headquartered in Downers Grove, Illinois. For more information, you can visit them at vastitservices.com. Alrighty, so with that, I want to go ahead and introduce our panelists. I'm looking forward to today's conversations. We have some leaders representing a number of areas in the industry, and each of them bring great valuable insights and stories. So with that, we'll go ahead. We have Ted Weitzel. He is VP of Finance and Operations at Logic AI, which has recently been acquired by ServiceNow. We also have Dean Comber. He is the VP of Information Technology at Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Then we have David Gutowski. He's a Senior IT Procurement and Contract Professional. And finally, we have Tyler Smith, who is a Cloud Engineer at VAST. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Heather.
Now, before we get started, I do want all of you to share a little bit more about yourselves and your background. So why don't we get started with you, Ted?
Sure. So I went to school as a physics major, and not at a school that was particularly known for physics. So I had a little bit of a freak out and became an accountant. So I had a lot of great math experience and credits, and that's right when they rolled out the 150-hour rule for becoming a CPA, and decided to do that. I worked a few years in big multinational just industrial manufacturing conglomerates, and decided that was not a lot of fun, and hit software in like 07, which was a weird time to be in software, but I never looked back. So we, as a group, have sold big machines to Oracle, Steelbrick to Salesforce. I took a little break in banking, sold the Best Buy relationship from Capital One to Citigroup, then jumped back in and built G2.com, which is a leading provider of peer-reviewed software products in the industry, and we got that to $1 billion valuation. Then I did Logic.ai, which was recently acquired by ServiceNow. So had some good stuff in the last almost 20 years.
Great. Excellent background. Thanks, Ted. How about Dean?
Thanks, Heather. Yeah, I've been in the association management space for just over 20 years now. 16 of those years in the healthcare association space. Most recently at the Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Before that, the American Medical Association, and then before that, the American Association of Nurse Anesthetists. I've had a really unique background in the ability to work in accounting and finance, but also IT. Have been able to kind of bridge that gap for most of my career, and really excited to participate in this webinar today.
Excellent. Great. David, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Heather. My name is Dave Gutowski. I've been doing IT procurement for about 15 to 20 years at this point. I originally started out, and I have a background in IT. I started out doing desktop support, networking support, and all that kind of stuff at Purdue University, and moved into library sciences, where I worked on the archives there. But then I got out and I got a degree in political science, which is what Purdue's not known for. Just like, where Ted went, isn't known for physics either, right? And so, but I got a degree in political science, but then what happened is that I got a job in procurement in the public sector. And I did that on and off for a number of years, but then I wanted to move to the private sector, and I've been working for Fortune 500 companies for the last, 15 years or so, 10 years or so, ranging from Allstate to Motorola to Tenneco to most recently Multicolor Corporation. And I've done a number of different RFPs and everything else to help drive value for IT. So glad to be here, and hopefully this will be a benefit to anybody on the call.
Yes, excellent. And
That's
then Tyler?
Because Purdue is my number 2. And Miami of Ohio has a great political science program, and they're really well known for it. So maybe we should have skied. But also we ended up in great places down the line.
All worked out. Hey, my name is Tyler Smith. I'm a cloud engineer at VAST. I've been in the IT industry for about 9 years now, and been with VAST for about 3.5. Pretty much day to day working with our organizations to transform their technology to benefit them. So excited to be a part of this.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited. We have finance executives, IT exec, we got procurement. We got a little bit of everything on our panel today, so it's going to be a great discussion. So before we dive in, I do want to go right into our very first polling question. I do want to get a feel for where your organization is at and how your finance and IT teams are currently aligning. So here it is. Where do you see the biggest gap between finance and IT in your organization today? Budgeting and forecasting, technology planning and prioritization, data sharing and visibility, communication and collaboration, or maybe you're not sure, which is fine as well. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. Give you a little bit of time to answer that. All righty. Looks like we're slowing down a little bit. I'll go ahead and close that. And I do want to share those results. Interesting. So let's see. It looks like the majority answered technology planning as being one of our largest gaps, followed by budgeting and forecasting. Anyone want to weigh in on these results?
I think it's all great. I like there's a pretty consistent distribution here, and really like CTOs, CIOs, and CFOs or head of finance need to be super aligned, because especially in my industry, which is software, it is just crucial. That's where we spend our biggest dollars, and if you don't have a super good relationship with the person running that side of the house, and hitting on every single one of these items, it's going to be potentially challenging, and I'll kind of go into what the challenges are later.
Yeah, excellent. That's a great way to kind of kick us off here. So let's go right into our panel questions or discussion topics today. So the first one being, where do you see the biggest disconnect between finance and IT today? And what practical steps have you taken to build stronger collaboration? Dean, do you want to kick us off here? See what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think from, being on more of the IT side of the house of things, but, having exposure to accounting and finance, I think, trying to solve for that disconnect, that's probably been a legacy challenge for a lot of finance and IT operations traditionally. And I always try to balance the, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So a lot of what I try to do with our corporate finance team is provide them with the necessary education, but in layman's terms of some of the things that are not only new to us, but are new to them. And I try to meet with them as much as I can on a monthly basis to kind of review the P&L and our balance sheet, especially from a CapEx perspective, to understand where we're currently tracking. And that almost kind of leads us from a little bit of an annual budget to almost a rolling budget, because we have so many things that are coming our way that we feel that can provide the utmost efficiency and effectiveness for us, especially when you're talking about some of the AI components in the technology sector. And so being able to be upfront and educate them on what problem that tool is actually going to solve and how it's going to create ROI for the organization has been very helpful. The other thing I do on an annual basis is I meet with all of our business line leaders. We have about 14 different business lines that we facilitate within the organization from a non-dues revenue perspective, dues revenue, but also operational components. And I like to meet with them to understand where we can fill in a gap for them and solve a problem from a technology perspective, but something that's going to help them become more efficient and effective as a business unit. And I have found that to be very helpful, because that avoids the, oh, by the way, or the 11th hour project that comes through, where we at least have those, conversations, and then partnership with corporate finance to understand what this proverbial concept might actually cost and how we actually make that become a reality. And I found that to be very helpful in just trying to create that bridge between our finance team, but also our business unit leadership.
Can I be next? Because I really want to pile on Dean here.
Yes, please do.
You hit on the biggest things, which is number one, relationship building in your organization, right? Like creating the relationships with other people that are doing other things in your organization is so key. And then two, explaining where you fit in, how you can help, and where you're going to be. And then I think three is the biggest thing, is we're all potentially in these tracks where we have expertise, and you said, hey, I need to educate everybody or help them understand what it is that we're bringing to the table, where finance, you're an expert in what you're in. Finance is an expert in what they're in. The rest of the organization, they're all there to do another thing. What brings us all together? And it's all about communication and understanding how do we get to the same place, or where we want to go together in the best way. So just boiling it down to, I don't know, relationship management. It's like the weirdest thing, right? That will make your company so much more successful than, having a bunch of experts that don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys really touched on quite a lot already. And it sounds like, both of you from the finance side and the IT side are doing some great things within your organization. So thank you so much for that insight to kick us off here. Why don't we just kind of continue the